What is up, guys? Corey here, again in the woods, to share a powerful persuasion tactic with you today. This tactic I'm about to share with you can be used in multiple contexts. To name a few off the bat that you may want to consider using this for are applying for jobs, interviews. If you're in sales, there's obvious applications there, better understanding your prospect. If you're trying to get to know someone better in a dating romantic context, this is extremely powerful and valuable as well. So this tactic is called criteria and values. And basically what criteria and values are the deep root motivational driving forces behind things that we do, okay? You probably have a deep driving value that gets you out of bed in the morning to go to the job that you do every day. Doesn't mean you love your job, but there's a why behind that. And the value that you have is the deep driving core of what moves you in that direction. And the way that you gather someone's criteria and values is by asking this question. And you can ask it in multiple different ways, by the way. This isn't a script. What's important to you about X? All right, let's imagine it in a job interview context. They may ask you a question, you answer the question. This is always my strategy. After you answer, immediately ask a question. Why? Because that puts you in control of the conversation again. The question that you may ask is, what's important to you about the person you'll end up finding yourself hiring for this role? And this question may get you a surface level answer at first. Like, well, it's the role's open, we need to fill it. This is important for the mission of the business. Okay, great. Well, what's important to you about that? And so you'll ask that again. They may go deeper and say something along the lines of, well, this is a newer role, and to be frank, we've really been trying to find the right fit because we know that when we do, it's going to make the business grow exponentially and move in the right direction. And so you may, add some commentary after that. Like, for example, that makes a lot of sense. I completely understand. And ultimately, what's important to you about that? And at that point, you'll more than likely get to the core of what their driving force is. So they may say something along the lines of, well, if I can fill this role and grow the business the way that we're forecasting this role will allow us to do, it's really going to allow me to make the type of income that I want to make and, provide the type of situation for my family that I want to. And usually when you reach this level, which is the core value, you're going to sense emotion coming out of them. Now, doesn't mean they're going to start crying, doesn't mean it's going to be that noticeable, but just really pay attention to how they're responding when they answer. Because when you feel that emotional buy-in, you've reached the core value. And so when you've reached the core value, what you want to do is, first off, thank them for sharing that, because that's intimate information to share. And you want to communicate your value in a way that aligns with that value, the core driving force behind their motivation. So if it's providing more value for their family, you can use the information they gave you at each step in how you position why you want to do this. Sometimes just getting to the core value alone, especially in a sales interview, will be enough to get you the job. But ultimately, you want to align and explain your value in a way that shows how you're aligned to their values and who they want for this role. Now, that example I gave was for a job interview context, but you're probably already starting to see the applications here. Imagine it's a dating context. What's important to you about the person that you want to be with? What's important to you about a relationship? Those are questions you can ask in sales. What's important to you about this type of project that you're working on? So it's as simple as that question. And sometimes, you may not get all the information at once, but just persist. This question really gets to the core. It's like drilling through the surface level layers to get to the heart of the matter of what's going to move the situation forward. So give that a go. First off, I always say start role playing with friends and experiment with friends in regards to that question before you take it out into the real world. But it's a very easy tactic that you can begin to put to use immediately. And so thank you for watching. Any questions, comments, drop them below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Talk to you guys again soon.